Hey guys, we are this morning doing something a little bit different. I've got our drone going up over above us, kind of taking in this location that we're recording today. And what we're trying to do is show you Bimini Square. This is the newest project, just broke ground here in Cape Coral in the Southwest, and it's going to be right on the basin. So here's the Bimini Basin behind me, and we're going to talk about some of the new projects that are coming up in the area, some of the ways that it's going to affect the area. So this video is really about how living in Cape Coral, Florida next year could be completely different, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. We're getting after that next. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about Bimini Square. Bimini Square is going to be a massive project, and you can see behind all the water, this is Gulf access water. There's some docks there already, but they're going to put 25 slips back here. There's going to be a medical center at the bottom of this, 500 parking spots, 218 luxury apartments, a deep lagoon restaurant, which is a seafood restaurant, and it's sourced by the local fishing boats. But this is what you're going to be seeing in the Southwest. We're just about across the street from the 47th Cove project that we highlighted the other week. So you can see this area of Cape Coral is going to be massive. It's going to have a ton of stuff to do. It's going to increase the walkability. So Cape Coral is not a walkable city, but there's certain areas that are becoming very walkable. Downtown, it's going to be very walkable. You're going to be able to get right across the street over the 47th Cove. There's a sky bar over there. Come over here, sit on the water, take in these views, and there's going to be a bunch of other businesses that are going to want to frequent here. We've added 8 new restaurants in the area just since Ian, and Tito's Cantina is one of them. Everybody's going there because Tito Ortiz, former UFC champion, opened a bar here, or opened a restaurant here, Mexican restaurant. So a lot of people going there, checking it out, and might be a place that you want to head down to as well. Hey guys, Craig Cunha here. As you know, if you've been watching the channel, I am a realtor here in Southwest Florida, and I am making these videos so that you know a little bit more about what it's like to live in the Cape Coral, Fort Myers areas. We do expand to some of the other cities around the area. We're going to get you more information on that as we go, but if you would like to keep seeing these videos, subscribe to the channel. And if you have questions beyond what you're seeing in these videos, you know that you can go to ournextfloridahome.com, or you can go to the mobile app, Our Next Florida Home. It gives you a lot of information about local restaurants, businesses, things like that that you can source. But if you're not getting your answers there, then you've got to do one thing and one thing only. Call, text, or email, because I've got your back when moving to the Gulf Coast. Okay, so we're going to be talking about some of the things going on locally here, and one of the big things is all the new construction. So across the country, there's been an increase. I think it was September where the new home starts were at 13.9% increase, and it's a 33% increase year over year. This is across the country, so new construction is definitely taking hold. But there's a big reason for it, and something you really need to understand. Interest rates are out of control. They're up to 8%. Now, when I say out of control from what our recent past was. 3%, that was an anomaly. That's not coming back. If we get back to 5 and 6%, count your blessings. But in all of that, you'll see one of the ways that the builders are overcoming this is the incentives. They're lowering prices, they're giving more closing cost money, and they're also buying down the rate. Now, buying down the rate, be careful what you're buying into, because it's a temporary buy down. That means each year you're going to adjust back up to whatever today's rate is. So you're really locking in an 8% interest rate. You're just going to have 2 years to get to it. So they'll start you off at 6%, the next year you'll go 7%, and then you'll lock in at 8% for the rest of the duration of the loan. That means if you want a lower rate in the future, you better hope those rates come down and you can refinance. So when somebody's advertising a 4.99% interest rate, I've been seeing this all over the place with the salespeople at these different builders. They're not disclosing this buy down process. I confirmed this with my lender. He said even if they double that money, the most you're going to get is 4 years worth of a buy down. So maybe you start at 4% or 5%, go 6, 7, 8, whatever that is. It's a temporary time frame. So keep that in mind. If you're buying into this process, make sure you know what you're getting into. There's all kinds of little things out there that are going to be introduced to you. All kinds of new programs are going to be coming out trying to make this easier. Make sure you get all the information that you need. And if you need a good contact for a mortgage lender, I've got one of the best. He's in the app. His name's Brian Fulton. So give me a call, text, or email, and I'd be happy to get you hooked up. Now, one of the things that's going on, we talk about inventory all the time. Here in our area, there are 435 new construction homes in our MLS just in Cape Coral alone. Yes, 435. In Lee and Collier counties, which is most of what Southwest Florida is, those two counties, there are over 1,300 new homes, new construction homes. That means being built or just newly finished. Over 1,300 in these two counties. That's a lot of new construction. So if you're looking for that to be part of what you want, you don't want to wait the 2 years to have it built. Custom builds are 2 years. Sometimes with some of the bigger guys that do the inventory, like a DR Horton or a Lennar, if they have inventory, you can normally get into them within 6 months. But keep those time frames flexible in your mind as well, because even my most recent clients, when they're promised a closing date, they're not hitting those targets. They're not even close to hitting those targets. It's for a number of reasons. There are still some shortages with some of the different things that we're trying to supply. Pool cages, the metal that goes for that, it's just ridiculous trying to get a hold of it. We've had some issues with concrete as well. But the time frames, a lot of it's coming down to labor shortages and the permit departments of the cities. Yeah, they're not really helping us much. There's a lot of delays with that. Sometimes they're shut down. You can't even do any permit work. So these are the reasons behind the delays. If you can't stand the delays, go after one of the inventory homes. Hopefully it's finished. Otherwise, if you need a builder, somebody there to get you started in the right direction, let me know. I'll help you out as much as I can. I can represent you again with any builder, whether it's a custom build or whether it's an inventory home. So if you would like some advice and some guidance through the process, I'd be more than happy to help you with that. All right, so with all the introduction of these new properties and new people coming to the area, safety is a huge concern. I had a conversation just the other day about this, and safety was the #1 issue that they were thinking about. This was Vinny and Lisa. We were talking about their kids coming to the area. You know, again, safety is a big concern. So what I did, I found this report. I've always told you that Cape Coral is the second safest city in the state. Well, now Wallet Hub, they compared 180 different cities across the country, and Cape Coral came in at number 16. Yeah, number 16. They used 41 different safety factor points in which to assess these different cities and give them the score. But this is a national ranking, and now Cape Coral is one of the top there too. So if safety is a concern for you, please don't let it be. In fact, one of the things I noticed just this past week, they are seeking a grant to get more overtime hours for the police officers. And if you drove around the city the other day, you would have seen all these speed strips across the road. So I guess some of us might have to slow down a little bit or pay a little more attention. But they're going to be out in force. They're going to be enforcing these speed limits because some of the driving has gotten out of hand. We've had a number of people run red lights. Thankfully, there aren't more accidents than there are, but people are certainly not making smart decisions, and they're going to have somebody hold them accountable very soon. Now, is anybody out there still thinking that we don't have enough jobs in the area? Because one of the things I can tell you, on Indeed.com, within 35 miles of Cape Coral, there are 15,000 jobs out there. Yeah, I know what you're going to say. Yeah, but they don't pay enough. How do you know? It's all different types of skill levels, all different pay grades. So you won't know unless you go to look. Go on Indeed.com, put in the city, and put a radius around it. Check out the jobs, see what's here. But there's a ton of jobs here. Construction alone could carry this area. There's so many projects going on at one time, and there's many more coming. We're going to be talking about the Seven Islands project and that potential #2 cut-in for the Gulf Access up in the northwest corner. I'm going to get some information on that this week and hopefully share that with you next week and give you some updates. Now, I mentioned earlier building can be challenging. One of the things that I found out, because my client is building a 2,200 square foot Gulf Access pool home. Well, the home's been done for a while. I mean, they're just doing little punch list stuff, but the pool's not done. Did you know you can't get the certificate of occupancy unless everything on the property's done? That's everything. So if the pool's not finished, you're not getting a CO. That means you can't move in. So this is once again where being flexible and understanding that this can happen is going to make your life easier so that you're not stressing out. Now, rent availability, we talk about construction, the rent availability has changed in the area as well. There are now over a dozen single family homes under $1,500 a month. That's just in Cape Coral. If I take the monthly price up to $2,500, there are over 100 of those single family homes. So renting is getting a little bit easier than it was. You don't necessarily have to be in an apartment building. If you remember from some of the previous videos, they're building apartments and condos at a blistering pace, and they're all for rent. You can't even buy one of these suckers. So these new projects like the Bimini Square and the 47th Cove, I've already tried to buy over there, and they said no. All of it's gonna be rentals, and it's gonna be, again, in a very walkable situation. So if that's what you're looking for, you'll probably be renting, and the rate's gonna be a little bit higher because you're so convenient to so many things. One of the best things I can tell you that's happened in this past month is the Boathouse is open again. This is my absolute favorite place. It's not because the food is amazing, it's not because the drinks are anything special, it's the view and the ambiance. If you are a water person, when it's a sunny, beautiful day like today, sitting out there underneath that tiki, they expanded the whole deck space out there, so there's a lot more space to be shaded. This again, not everybody wants to be in the blistering sun. Right now, it's actually a little bit cool. There's a breeze coming out of the east, and I don't know if we're going to be picking up any of the wind noise, and I apologize if so, but this is just part of what happens when we get into season. We get these cool breezes that come in. Now, there's a new Florida law that you need to know about, especially if you have kids and you have golf carts, because my son is an animal when it comes to wheels, whether it's 2 wheels, 4 wheels, whatever it is. He wants to drive it. He wants to drive it as fast as he can. Hey, Dad, how can I mod this to make it faster? Well, that is going to be a problem for him because you now need a learner's permit to be driving a golf cart. And that's a Florida law. It's not just a local law, it's the entire state. So if you have kids that are running around in golf carts, there's a very high chance that they could be fined for driving, or you're going to be fined for them driving a golf cart without a learner's permit. Keep that in mind. It's fun. It's exciting for them. I get it, because again, my son is one of those kids, but that learner's permit's gonna be necessary, especially for golf carts. Another exciting thing happening in our area, you hear about all these projects, Margaritaville is going to be starting to take reservations December 26th of this year. So the day after Christmas, if you want to schedule to stay in our oceanfront or our Gulf front new resort down on Fort Myers Beach, they will be taking reservations. I checked the pricing down there. Might be a little bit of sticker shock for some of you, but especially if you want that ocean view room, they're going at just about $1,000 a night. Yes, $1,000 per night to have that view, that sunset, all the perks of being there. But again, you're gonna have to break out the wallet for that one. And again, another update on JC Park. Nothing's guaranteed with this yet. The residents are fighting it. The city council, they continue to push forward. I think 7 out of 8 of the individuals are in favor of going forward with the project. But there's just a ton of stuff, as I've mentioned before, going on in the city. What they're doing a really good job about, though, is they're spreading it across the city. So we have a bunch of projects going on in the southeast. We have a bunch of projects going on in the northwest, so that it keeps everything spread out and hopefully keeps things thinned out so that all the traffic isn't condensed in one area. Traffic is getting thicker. We're coming into season. It's going to get even worse. So if you're coming in for a visit, just understand that's happening. It's going to be at least through April into May, and then we'll get a little bit of relief once again when the snowbirds leave. All right, so that's a little bit more about what living in Cape Coral, Florida is going to be like moving forward. Next year could be completely different than what it is this year, and I'm gonna bank on the fact all these new projects are going to make life here so much different and so much better. But if you have any other questions about living in the area, check out one of these other videos. And if you have a specific question you need an answer to, you've got to call, text, or email, because I've got your back when moving to the Gulf Coast.